Thanks. Sorry about that. Let me go back. Didn't realize that I was still on mute. So thanks, Jennifer. I appreciate that. All right, let's start over. Take two, Friday morning, right? Thanks everyone for joining. This is Ryan Garst, the Senior Director of Clinical Services. And you have me today. So we're going to go over a couple of.
I'm also on, Ryan. Bill Noyes.
Oh, Bill, thanks for joining, Bill. I didn't see you on there. Perfect. I didn't realize that I didn't have sound, so we're starting over. I realized I was on mute. So thanks, Bill, for joining. So we're going to go over the teletracking and direct ordering program that we've been talking about the last few weeks. We're also going to review the updated data collection form, and we'll talk specifically about that when we get there. And then we'll take any questions. So at the end, go ahead and put those questions into the box there, and we'll answer any questions that you have at the very end. So as we have discussed the last couple of weeks with teletracking, that is going to be effective March 1st. The reporting will be due on Wednesdays. There won't be any type of prompt. I did get that clarified. I had a couple of questions come in over the last week or so in terms of, will there be any type of email prompt reminding providers to go in and report? There isn't. So you'll sort of have to, I guess, put a note in your calendar or something like that, that on Wednesdays to go in and submit your data to teletracking. All the providers with MABs that they have on quantity on hand will need to report. And I apologize, I just realized that I didn't finish this bullet point here. You must report quantity on hand and quantity dispensed. I will update that slide. So again, it's quantity on hand and quantity dispensed for that period of time. For the dates of 2/21 through 3/3, report that to teletracking. We won't be sending a tracker this week to sort of shore everything up and get it from 2/21 to 3/3 and get that sort of cycle started. And if you have not registered, please do so. So please, if you haven't registered, the information has been sent out a couple of times. If you don't have that information, please let us know. But I did get a report from them, and it looks like a lot of the providers in the pilot did go ahead and enroll. So thank you for that. I really appreciate you guys doing all of that. Second, with direct ordering, there is an information sheet, and I'm going to show you that on the next slide. And this will be for all the monoclonals that are approved through EUA for COVID. So as we know, there's now technically 5 individual MAB products, but 3 products because 2 are combo. So we have the Bamlanivimab, which was our pilot. Then we have the newer product, the Bamlanivimab etesevimab combo product. And then we have the Regeneron product, which is casirivimab and indevimab. So it will be for ordering of all 3 of the COVID-19 monoclonal antibodies. This is just that direct order process. It's just an overview of a guide that sort of talks about the steps and that kind of thing. And then it talks a little bit about the reporting. And then there is a link to it. So if you click on that link that's in the slides, that will provide you this sheet. And with the link for the ordering, it's a separate order process for those of you that are already currently ordering from AmerisourceBergen. You will not order the monoclonals your traditional order. You'll be following the specifics with this guide for the monoclonals. So with this change in the reporting, we being NHIA, really would still want the data collection, and we need the data. And why is that? We want to continue to assess these products for clinical effectiveness and safety for COVID in the outpatient setting, continue to combine with cost of service data to advocate for better reimbursement for home infusion of these products. The data supports the quality care home infusion providers are able to administer to patient in the home and alternate site setting. And data is very powerful. We know that many of you know that we can't move things forward on a variety of fronts without the data. And finally, if you're like me, I said having data is cool. It's exciting to be able to see what everyone's doing in the field and all the great work that everyone's doing. So with that, we're going to transition to the changes in the new data collection form. So it's one tab, or one sheet, I should say, of an Excel spreadsheet. It's very similar to what we were doing before. 2 of the lines got cut off here, and I'll make that change here. I just realized on the screenshot there will be a line for quantity on hand and quantity dispensed, similar to what you're reporting to teletracking, because we do want to track that as well. And the drug administered, well, let's go over the top. So for facility name, it'll be your pharmacy location name, address, contact person, and contact phone number. And then the drug administered, again, it'll be a drop down for you, and I'll show you the live, the spreadsheet here in a moment. But it'll be the drug administered, which will be one of the 3 products, Bamlanivimab, Atezolizumab, and Casirivimab and Endevimab. Again, this middle product is not quite available yet. I know from being on a few calls with HHS and other calls throughout the last week or 2 since the approval of this product, they don't quite yet have a release date for it, but I just wanted to make sure that it was included. Then one change will be this site of administration. It has multiple choices for you in a dropdown. So the assisted living centers, correctional facilities, dialysis center, federally qualified healthcare centers, and you'll see that one is going to be abbreviated in the dropdown. Home, the infusion suite, or other. And if you do select other, please enter free text into column C, what that other location was. Patient age will just be entering the patient age in years. And ethnicity and race is similar to what we've been reporting, and you have your drop-down options there as well. Next slide, or the next part of the data tracker will be patient height and weight, and I got those flipped. I apologize. I will fix that, but weight will be in kilograms and height will be in inches. Dates, you'll have the date for symptom onset, the date of positive test, and the date of the infusion. We have a rate of infusion. Again, it'll be 60 minutes for the combination products because those per the EUA have not had the reduction in infusion times. But for Bamlanivimab, as we know, for the last 3 or 4 weeks since the update to the EUA, you can use reduced infusion times, which are 16 minutes, 27 minutes, 38 minutes, and 60 minutes. So please select that from the dropdown. Again, if you are infusing the combination products, please enter 60 for those. And then obviously for Bamlanivimab, enter the correct infusion time. Infusion criteria, again, only select the primary reason, and that's based off the high risk eligibility from the EUA. Again, they just have to have one inclusion criteria for high risk. So we don't necessarily need to know them all, but please at least select one just to show that the patient was qualified to receive the product. Adverse events, you'll select the event the patient encountered. If they have more than one event, so for example, if they have a fever, chills, and headache, for example, enter one of the events in the adverse event column and then free text in the column P, which it'll be right here. Enter that in for and enter those others in free text. If none, please select that from the dropdown for adverse event, because we do want to make sure that we are collecting that because many of the patients are not experiencing any type of side effect or adverse event from the medication. And then again, that post-infusion follow-up, that'll be recommended at 7 days, and you reporting on ER visits, patient hospitalization, and patient death. So please, if you have any questions, go ahead and start putting those in. But hopefully now you should be able to see the tracker. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger here for you. I just wanted to show you, we tried to make it as simple as possible in terms of having drop downs. So you'll just collect and select, which drug you would want and just move through the process, right here. So I think that makes pretty much intuitive sense. So please, just if you have any questions regarding this, please let me know. And we will, the frequency of this, I'll let you know. It's probably going to be required. I'm thinking about every 2 weeks for that. And we'll send out a reminder for the data collection. Again, this is optional. It's not required at this point. But again, just like we've been doing, we've had over 400 infusions within the pilot itself. And we have data on the clinical outcomes for about 300. And so again, thank you for that. It has been extremely impactful to have this data. And so again, we're really encouraging providers to continue to report it so that we can continue to advocate and do the work and show the benefit that home infusion providers play on a daily basis, but specifically in regard to getting the monoclonal antibodies out into the public. Again, just another thing to note is that, yes, these medications now have this new ordering process from the FDA, but also note that the reimbursement has not yet changed. It's still the 30960, which we know, and we've talked about many, many times, is a potential barrier for the alternate site provider, just from a cost perspective. And so we will continue to work on that from an advocacy front, but just wanted to let you know that at this point, there's still not a change for the reimbursement at this time. It's still the 30960 regardless of the site of care. And with commercial payers, again, that's on a case-by-case basis. But what we've seen and what we've heard from providers that have attempted this is that they're following the rate that's been published by CMS. So with that, I'll take any questions. I don't see any that are in the box at this point, but we will be posting this recording as well as the slides, hopefully by the end of the day today, and we'll go from there. So
hey, Ryan, it's Connie. Can I just say something really quick?
Oh, yeah, Connie, thanks. I didn't realize you had jumped on. Yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead.
No problem. First, just want to add my thanks for everyone who's continuing to participate in the program. I do want to let you know that I feel fairly confident that the rate discussion is ongoing and that CMS is considering this. So I just wanted to let you know that it seems like there's a lot of discussion. I think there's also a lot of things happening out there in the field regarding access to these products that is making it more urgent for them to address the reimbursement issue. So I just want to let you know, we do feel like this has, been an effective way to advance home infusion generally. Let me just say that it's been an education process, I think, for CMS and HHS and others, learning about our industry and what it takes to create access to home infusion. So I just want you to know that this has been a really important project. And as Ryan was saying, the data is a critical element to all of that. So to the extent that you can continue to collect and submit the data, that is incredibly helpful and something that if they do increase the rate, will probably be a component of the program going forward. So we do expect that regardless of what happens, we'll continue to collect this data because we think it's going to be helpful in the overall discussions that we're having with them, not just on this issue, but on others related to home infusion and Medicare. So thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks, Connie. I couldn't, yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful. Thank you for that. So I did have one question come in to clarify, will the report due this coming Monday be from the old report? Yes, it will be. So we'll send out that tracker like I normally do today or tomorrow, but you have the old tracker. So, I send that out just as a reminder. So if you want to start filling those out and sending them in, that's totally fine. And then starting next week, so starting the 1st, I'll send out this new tracker on Monday, and then we'll start this new collection process. And again, I'm thinking we're going to go with the 2-week frequency for reporting. So every 2 weeks, you'll report this back to us just so that we can take that data, put it into a master and start, continuing our analysis like we've done before. And I've shared with you some of those clinical outcomes before. So yes, that's a great question. Thank you for bringing that up, just for clarification if I wasn't clear. We'll go ahead and do the old report just to shore up through the end of February, and then starting Monday, you'll go ahead and transition your quantity on hand and quantity dispensed to teletracking, and then we'll start our new collection process that we just reviewed starting on the 1st. Any other questions? That was the only one that was tossed into the question box. But I want to make sure that if there's anything else, I don't know, Connie or Bill, is there anything else you wanted to add? I know, Connie, you chimed in, but Bill, was there anything on your end that you wanted to add before we call it a day?
Nothing new since the last call. I understand there's still issues processing the administration code for the monoclonal antibodies. that CMS and the Medicare contractors are aware of. I shared that on the last call. They're in the last deck. They stated that they will do mass adjustments. There's no reason to resubmit the claim, but that they're working on the issue. I've asked for a timeline and have not received that yet, but we'll share it in our COVID newsletter when we get one. That comes out every Friday morning.
And I'll also ask if we want to continue having a call like every couple of weeks. I'll put that out in the email as well. With some of this transition, I think it may be beneficial like every couple of weeks just to touch point in regarding the data collection with a quick call and just sort of see where we're at. But we'll work through those with this transition that's sort of happening for the ordering and the teletracking. But again, our speed pilot is still active. You know, continue to work with long-term care facilities and those other correctional facilities and others to continue to provide the drugs. I know some of the need is going down with vaccination, but you know, still continue that outreach and providing if you can, as you have been, because that's still a population that needs the medications when they're appropriate. So that's not going away. It's just we're making some changes from a reporting perspective and things like that directly to teletracking and the ordering so that we're no longer having to allocate product and you guys have quicker access. So, but yeah, the speed, I just want to make that also clear that we're still, you know, actively working with those locations that have been part of the speed program to continue to provide when needed. All right. I don't see any other questions. So for today, we'll call it a wrap. And thank you so much for joining. And just keep on the lookout for a couple of email updates and things like that. And again, please just send me a note if you have any questions about anything, as you guys have been doing. It's been really great working with you all. So thanks so much, everyone. And we will talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.